Good evening. I'm late tonight, but not in my pyjamas yet. This is a book I've recently read called The Night Raid, and this came to my attention for a number of reasons. One, it's a local author, and I love to support local where I can. And so I heard about this book from Bromley House Library, which is a membership library in Nottingham, which I'm very privileged to be a member of. So it's a local author, and then I love books about the war. I'm a bit sad like that because my degree was in war studies, and my sort of historical interest is around all kinds of wars and how wars affect life, how they affect families, how they affect our values and our self-esteem. So I was drawn to this for a number of reasons, and it's a cracker. I'd really advise reading it. I hadn't read any of Clare Harvey before, but I will definitely be looking at her other books now. It is incredibly sad. I did cry at one point in the book. I sort of read it through the night appropriately, because it was the sort of book you wanted to know what was going to happen next. You wanted to know what these characters were up to. It wasn't obvious. I hoped for a happy ending. The ending was not as happy as I had hoped for. And I did my own little ending after the end of the book, where I allowed them to walk off into the sunset, but that isn't actually there. That was in my head. So it's a real up and down. It's a real crescendo of emotions. For a relatively manageable size book, an awful lot goes on. I was shocked Bromley House Library is in the book, and something quite awful goes on in there. And that surprised me. I don't know if that's based on any history of the library. I'm going to ask next time I go in. I particularly love reading books where I understand the geography because I've been there. And so a book about where I live, not that I've lived here that long, was lovely because I've been to most of the places that are talked about. And there's a really interesting and rich history here, which I very much enjoyed. It's a real quality book. If you enjoy any of the elements, if you enjoy personal relationships, you'll enjoy this. If you enjoy sort of wartime drama, you'll enjoy this. If you enjoy local history around the Midlands, then you'll enjoy it. If you just want a good, solid, quality read, I think you will enjoy it. And I'd really encourage you to read it. And as I say, I'm going to read more of Clare Harvey's work. What was particularly interesting in this one is that there's not a single main character. And I think that's quite challenging as a writer, to not focus on one. There are several threads, several characters' lives that we're following. And I was very interested because the one main character, Dame, is a real person, really existed. And I did find about a third of the way in that I wanted to see some of her. She's an artist, and that's quite important to the story. And I did go and look online, and I did get a book out about her work, and I wanted to have some of her artwork. I found that quite inspiring. I don't know how much of the story of her life is, because it's quite it suggests some quite interesting bits about her life, and I don't know if they are based in anything. But I am going to a lecture by Clare very shortly, so I might do a quick update to this when I've asked her that question, because I think when you take real people and you put them into fiction, I think that's quite challenging, and I get a bit worried that I might take something as being true when it's in a work of fiction, and that's something that Clare completely made up. So it would be nice for me to learn where those boundaries are, what's based in truth and what's not. Certainly the work that she did in painting wartime situations and the power that those paintings had, they're fabulous if you go and have a look at them. Although her other work doesn't do much for me. I did like that one. I think is really powerful, and certainly a book that makes me go and look at another book or investigate something else always, for me, means that it's been something that's had an impact, and that makes it special. So I won't be giving this copy. Most of my ARCs I give to Bromley House for the members, but because one can't sell them. But I won't be giving this because they've already got one because they know Claire. So it will go in one of my giveaways if you don't already have bought it already, which I would recommend.